right that whole time. All this time I had all these emotions just rolling around in my head like a maelstrom, but I couldn't express it. It just really hurt me. But finally, as like I just mourned and recovered and everything, I finally found my words back, and I was so excited. So I just quickly wrote everything down, and now it's come to how it is. It's called Paper Rose, and you guys will figure that out while I waited. It was originally called something else, but one day I was just walking down the stairs. I just happened to see a paper rose on the ground. I was like, whoa, that looks really good. So I just picked it up and walked around with it. And then the more I kept it, the more I realized this describes me perfectly. So I changed the title and changed the poem a little bit to accommodate for it, but this is Paper Rose. Baby, it's pretty obvious I'm a recovering addict. Kind of like the A without the A. I'm not the same when you're not by my side. Kind of like the J without the K. Now the sun never rises on us. I still can't picture us two without the day. Now, do you want to stay? Of course you do. Even if you're too proud to admit it. Those feelings have been there since the day I committed. I still remember that time so clearly in my mind. You know what? Let's take a second to rewind. It all started with a Facebook message from a boy still dreaming. She replied so innocently, but I swear it's not me, it's she that was scheming. Like any other 16-year-old boy, I was on the trail to get some tail, but luckily, I failed. I wanted to be a player, so game, you know I spit that. But then she came around and you know she fixed that. She expected to be respected, and at first I rejected the thought of bringing her to my heart, but I brought my inhibition into submission, and finally, my love was in fruition. They say when you're in love, you ride high, but I would call my time a slam dunk because for once I was on top of the world, if only for 6 months. Damn. 6 months. Half a year. Well, for 6 months, even the devil could not level. I was a rebel happily settled until someone meddled. Now I'm steaming like a kettle and hung up on you like a metal. I mean, as we climbed to the top, thinking we would never stop, about to make it to the peak, I reached back only to see you fall. We were two star-crossed lovers, far off from one another. How could they take away the very best thing that ever happened to me? Now every time I see a couple, I get envy in me because of your memories in me. Remember the time we scattered until 6 a.m.? I wanted to stay on until the sun came up, but you wanted to sleep because you didn't want to sleep. You didn't want your sleep debt to run up. You always did pay your bills on time. That goes to show we weren't led by lust, because just seeing your pixelated face kept us robust. Every day I close my eyes and wake up in New York with you by my side. That will always be our safe haven, because there I heard those words were paven with freedom. Those streets crackle our shackles, tackle our pressure, and cackle at the notion that we can't be together. For once all the burdens and worries were lifted up off our tired shoulders, and we became so light we floated to the clouds in a hurry. And the best moment of my life, when I took you to Central Park and we sat and watched the sunset, listened to the Equatorians. For once I had nothing in my mind, no fears, no worries, no concerns, just you. I was in complete infatuation, pure love. I filtered out the bullshit until I was left with a deadly concentration. Now, I wonder if I'll ever feel that way again. Now, when I hear couples complain, I just shake my head. They don't know how good they got it. But then again, I'm insanely jealous of them. The popular one and done, hit and run. After all, most relationships are just for fun. But people who think like that truly don't know what they're missing. Why go for sardines while fishing when the marlins are swimming at the bottom of the ocean? Yes, they take more work and require more patience, and sometimes they even tip your boat or break your line, but they're more than worth it in the end. To all the partners and young lovers, never let go of your significant other. Don't let petty fights and long nights get in the way of what's right. When you don't know where to go and you're fighting the tears, just know the storm always clears. Next time you get the chance, stare in your lover's eyes and remember the time when you both were at your highest of highs. Hold that feeling and never ever let it go. When things get rough and you think it's about to end, remember that feeling and fight to the death until you can relive it again. It took me 15 tries till I could find my baby. So much potential only to die premature. So take my advice and just maybe you won't have to go through this torture. My heart is a paper rose, wrinkled, torn, tattered, tossed to the side like it doesn't even matter. It's been written on, erased, bled through, recycled, and been used. It's been folded, forever creased, compressed, balled up, but its mass will never decrease. At times I let it float like a boat in a rushing river, or it faints as a plane where I let the wind take it. For a moment I think it's never coming back, but I never remake it because I always recycle. And it always finds a way to return to me in worse condition than I left it in. I'm sorry if I'm giving off a rather depressing sound, but just yesterday I gave it to someone and found it discarded, disregarded on the ground. And of course, with my luck, the only person that ever handled it with care got the paper cut. However, I keep my faith and love alive because though God has discerned, I have learned that although my paper rose has been dragged through the pits of hell, it has never burned. So maybe, just maybe, there's a chance that one day my rose will fly away and it will never return.